On this show, you'll find inspiration, motivation, and advice from experts, as well as valuable tips on how to get started or improve your business. Let's dive into how you can begin and grow your wisdom business. Inspiring others looks different for everyone. How will you inspire? Welcome to the Wise Dome podcast, and today we're chatting with Alison Wheeler. Alison, welcome to the Wise Dome podcast.
Thanks for having me, Nikki. I'm looking forward to it.
I've been looking forward to chatting with you because we've seen each other in crossing paths in our networks that we're in. So I'm so happy to get to learn a little bit more about you. So share with our audience, how did you get started in the world of the knowledge business online?
Yeah, look, my very first journey, like we're going back a few years now, I am an occupational therapist by profession. So that's really where I guess the journey started. And then when I had my daughter, wanted to utilize that, my knowledge, and what I saw was a way to help people in a different way. So take that knowledge, started coaching within that, and then went into network marketing, which was a very interesting journey. Did that for 13 years, very, very successfully, went to the top of that company around the world. And then that was all online. Well, 99% of it was online, so I learned a lot of skills, but then there was no more growth. There was no further to go, and I am not a person that sits idle very well. I like growing, and I like helping people to be able to grow. So kind of bet that thing to death. There was no more growth. So then it was like, all right, what am I going to do? When you've done something for a long time, it can be really scary to leap and jump. So I decided to then really kind of circle back to my calling, which is to help people through coaching. So circled back, left that, and have been building again, let's say reinvention number, I don't know, back into the new iteration, which is coaching again, and loving that. And so taking all of that knowledge now over like 15 years of digital marketing, of occupational therapy, of health, wellness, business, everything into a very holistic way to help people build, females, particularly women, build their entrepreneurial journey without burnout.
Right. And as long as you're not
getting the fast version.
And are you making sure you're not burning out as well? Because that's a lot of stuff right there. Choices.
Yeah, look, I can speak from the burnout perspective, Nikki, because I've done it. I've done that burnout thing now a few times. And in the chasing of success, I've burnt myself out a number of times. But as I've learned, I wasn't chasing my version of success. I was chasing a version of success that I thought was success, which was generally not mine. It was someone else's. Now, that does not mean I'm still not extremely driven. I am, but there are better ways to do that are more nourishing, holistic, and integrative than they are burnout, more, for want of a better way to describe it, more feminine than more masculine, and balancing those energies and balancing the way you do that more because I think chasing work-life balance drives us nuts more than anything, because I don't even know if that's such a thing. I think it's an integration. Like, how do we integrate all of the parts of our lives and make that crazy mess that we have called life actually work in a way that works for all aspects of our life, but first and foremost ourselves, in a way that nourishes you physically, spiritually, emotionally, the whole kit caboodle. That is actually possible. And when things are out in your life, it's like sandpaper irritating the living daylights out of you. And it's like, or a splinter in your finger that you can't find, right? Like it's a bit like that. And something's wrong, but you can't necessarily find it, see it.
What it is,
Once you pull the splinter out, it's like, oh, all right, we're good again, but sometimes it can be a little bit of finding what that is and what's out of alignment to get back into alignment or integrated, so that you can powerfully move forward in a calm sense, in a grounded sense, without all the without so much chaos. There's so much chaos going on in the world as it is. Yep. I don't think we need more. Like, we don't need to bring that too, right? Like, there's so much that's trying to inundate on us on a daily basis to make us feel fearful or make us feel chaotic, that like, if you're bringing that internally, then, and you're bumping up against what the world's trying to tell you, it's a lose-lose.
Yeah. And for me, it comes down to the simple message. And like, I posted about this last week because, I was home with the little one. He wasn't well. I had to put a pause on everything. And it's funny. Like, we sometimes sit there and go, oh, we don't have time for this because I can't stop it. But when the little one's sick or whatever, you have to stop. And it made me realize, just a reminder, and I had to remind myself of this, is that we work to live. We don't live to work. And it's finding, and sometimes we do get trapped in that, don't we? It's like we're just constantly on this wheel of just work. And like you said, sometimes we pick up a little splinter every now and then. It's like, hang on a minute. Oh, something's not right here. We've got to sort of take a back seat and go, hang on a minute, why are we doing all of this again? And just like you said, just take a holistic approach. It's not one or the other. They do have to work together.
They absolutely 100%. And also ensuring, because I also don't believe that a business can grow past an individual's viewpoint, belief system, growth, whatever. So that ability to self-care and work on yourself in order for your business to grow, because you will never, you're just not going to outgrow that. You're not going to outgrow your self-perception and your own thinking. And sometimes it's that whole resistance is just a viewpoint we have, right? Like, I don't have time is something that I hear myself say. I hear a lot of women say all the time. True, not true, who knows? At the time we can feel like that, but everyone has the same amount of hours. And when something doesn't go our way, or we have this whole thing planned out, right, and one of our children gets sick, as they do, or goodness knows what else, anything, right? Anything happens that's not on that list and it's not all perfect, we can lose our, what, really quickly. But it's like, well, if we had banked enough energy and banked enough time, and we also factor in the fact that we're playing business for the long game, not the short game, then it's like, okay, no, I don't have to have fear of missing out on whatever, or our money mindset might get in the way. Well, if I don't do that, then I'm not going to get paid this, and blah, 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 right? And we're way on this tangent where it's like, but if I just stopped, and that probably would have taken me, maybe a day out, but now because I haven't paid it attention, it's going to be 3 days right? Like, it tends to extend out longer and longer the less we deal with it immediately.
Yeah. And it's like that common thing, isn't it? It's like some people forget to plan for the week ahead. They don't spend that hour of planning of what am I doing for the week ahead, and instead just go, no, I've just got to get straight into it. And they end up doing one task for 3 hours. But if they planned it, they do it for 1 hour, because then they know they've got to do the next one, the next one, the next one. It's just, it's a juggling game, like we mentioned before we started recording this. So we've got to keep going. And that takes me to the next question. Obviously you've done so much and achieved so much, Alison, like in your career and everything like that. It's sport, everything. Like, you've done so much. And that mindset of just get it done and get things done. What challenge have you actually come across that has actually put a stop to something and gone, hang on a minute, this is a bit of a challenge, I have to overcome this?
All the time. Constantly, every single day. There is not a day that does not come up with a challenge.
Right?
Like, or an obstacle. Or literally, that's the game of life.
Yeah.
So this is how my life works, and most of the people I work with, right? You set a goal, like, I want, I don't know, X, Y, and Z. I want a nice pair of shoes. I want a whatever. I'm not really into shoes, but whatever, right? Like, that thing. For me, it's usually something. It's not a physical object, because that doesn't drive my beingness. But that's fine. Whatever it is for each individual, right?
Yep.
So let's just say shoes for the sake of it. So let's say I want this pair of shoes, like that's my big goal. Let's say they're diamond shoes and they're worth $5,000 or something to make it interesting. So let's say you want this shiny pair of shoes, but as soon as you put that goal out there, you will create an obstacle immediately, because that's the game of life, right? So, in terms of what stopped, I mean, literally anything and everything you can think of, I have pretty much come up against, I've had family members pass away. I've had my own illness and serious illness. I had at one point during one of my business growths, I got so sick that, I really wasn't sure what was going to happen. It took 2 years to recover and get out the other side of that. But see, the interesting thing with all of those things is it didn't stop the goal. Yeah, okay, it stopped me temporarily. Yeah. Or it made me go down very different iterations or different paths to find the goal. But I also wasn't learning something, because it would keep coming up in different ways, right? Like different obstacles would keep coming in my way. And I wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting something. And for me, that something at that time, for that phase of that business, was I wasn't living to my values. I wasn't living to my own version of success. And I wasn't accepting that I was driven by different things than necessarily the people that were around me at that time were driven by. And that's okay. Right. So it was, and for me to be okay to stand there in my own authenticness and go, this is me, this is what I want, that's okay. Whether you want it or not, doesn't matter. This is what I want and I'm okay. And it's taken me years to accept that and to be okay to put that forward, regardless of what's going to come back.
Right.
And I can't say that I'm perfect with it. I still have days, even though I've worked on this a lot and I'm way further down the track than I would. I still have days where I'm like, oh my God, what are they going to say if I say this, or I post that, or I do this? And but I use the adage of eat the frog. I will do those things as soon as that, like Eat the Frog is a really good book. It's very short, easy read, but it's like do the crappy things first. Just get them out of the way, right? Because also not only is it good because then you stop thinking about it and you stop like wasting so much energy and attention on those things. But once you've done them, you feel so good that you want to go, like you want to go do more. But it's a bit like, well, Nikki, I'm assuming you're like most people like me. One of the things I hate the most, I don't like a lot of things and I like a lot of things, but I dislike having to think about what I'm going to have for dinner all day. How much time do we consume thinking about what we're going to have for dinner, planning for dinner, then going and getting it, right? Like, so on Sunday, I prep my food. One, I'm an athlete, so I've done it for a long time. It's just part of the routine. But when I started doing that, I have hours and hours and hours back in my day because I don't have to think about it. It's done. It's organized. That's what we're having. There's no more thing. Literally, you get hours back. Like there's so many hacks and so many things like that I've learned to have to find ways to remove those resistances.
Yes.
So I'm kind of going the long way around to answering your question, which was, have I faced obstacles? Heaps. And every single day. But I also know that is just part of playing a bigger game because my goals are way bigger than me. And they're clearly beyond my current who I'm being, because otherwise I'd have them. So I know it's going to be a massive stretch. And as I move forward towards those new goals, then I come up against old versions of who I think I am. Or who someone's told me I am.
Right. Those little
things, And I see that with my clients too. And it's like, well, and as you bump up against those resistances, all sorts of interesting things in your world happen so that you can deal with it or choose not to, because sometimes we ignore them. But, they tend to come back, right? Like then it's like, yeah, but I thought I
You
dealt
have
with
to
it.
deal with it, yeah.
Or, it comes back even louder, right? Like first it's like tap, 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 take notice of this. Then it's like a fleet truck comes through.
Slap across it.
It's like take some notice. This
Yes.
time I'm really trying to get you to take some notice, for crying out loud. But also, sometimes I also know that, if I'm reaching an obstacle, it's not a failure.
No.
It's because I don't have all the knowledge. I'm missing something. So then I go knowledge seeking. It's like, okay, what piece of knowledge am I actually missing? Or wisdom, could be wisdom. What piece of knowledge am I missing that can then help me get to my goal? Because I typically, and most of the people I deal with are impatient. They want their goals yesterday. The knowledge seekers too, right? So we'll look and we'll find what is that piece of knowledge that you're missing? And either you're going to have to learn it or you're going to have to outsource it, right? And get someone else to do it. Yeah. So I don't think there's a day go by that I don't face obstacles.
And I love that answer. No matter how long or rounded it was, I love it.
It was very long around.
But you really touched on a point there, and that was, for me anyway, I picked up on was, we have to get a goal. It's not something, it's called a goal for a reason. You have to come across a few challenges to get to that goal. Otherwise, it's just a simple, like a goal is like a win. And to win something, you have to appreciate what you've gone through to get to that end goal. And to appreciate it, sometimes we have to go through a few little shitty things. And those shitty things are learning things. I see it as well that way anyway. And that's what I tell my daughter every day. It's like, life isn't easy. You're meant to go through a bit of shit because you got to learn from that stuff. Excuse my language, but yeah, it's
but 100%. But if you just think about like an actual game, let's say soccer game, you've got a goal. You don't score in your own goal. You score in the goal at the other end of the field, and you've got to go past opponents.
Exactly.
But if there was nothing, if there were no opponents, and and it's just you on the field and the goals. You would be bored of that game in about 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, it doesn't become a goal anymore.
I've done the goal thing. Now what do I do? Right? Yeah. It's literally that is what we're playing with. And I can recall, different goals I've gone through, particularly when they're what I consider big goals. Yeah. I can recall feeling like I was in a game of chess. It's like, okay, what piece of this board or puzzle, what do I need to move next in order for the next play to come in place? And it was literally like continually moving pieces. And some of those pieces were checkmate, and some of those pieces were, whatever, moved nowhere, moved somewhere, moved stop me. But that's all part of the game, is continually moving. And I'm the same. I say the same thing to my daughter as well.
And you've just got to keep looking out for options. There's so many different ways to reach, the goal you're going for.
100%. And I think the thing too is attach yourself to the goal, not always the methodology and the vehicle, because sometimes we can miss the fact that the way that we're doing it at that moment in time is no longer serving us, or that there might be a more purposeful way or a one of the better way, a more efficient way, effective way. So it's you also want to reflect and ensure that you're assessing that method is still the best method for you. Whereas if you tie yourself to the goal rather than the method, then you actually have a much, much, much more successful outcome and a willingness to change the method as more information comes to you.
Yeah, it doesn't become the priority. It's, exactly. And going back to what you do, which is, you've gone back again into the whole coaching. What have you learned this time round, and how have you evolved with how you coach this time round?
Yeah, I think, when I started coaching, I think just the type of clientele, everything that I coach on has evolved. So, what have I learned? That's a really good question, Nikki. And how do I coach differently? I think I just have so much more experience and knowledge, which means I can go, there's not a lot I haven't heard from someone. Yeah. I can go in many angles, many directions, just whatever the goal is.
Yeah.
I know I can help someone get it done no matter what it is, because the amount of experiences I've had and walked people through all sorts of different things as well. And I think that my level of empathy's increased.
Yes.
So because of those experiences and dealing with people, if someone wants to spend 45 minutes with me bawling their eyes out, well, that's okay. Yeah. Right? Like sometimes that's what we need to do, whatever it is. If you want to laugh, if you want to cry, if you want whatever, that's okay. Whatever the safe, if that's what where you feel safe to do so, right? And that's what it requires at the time. Great. Let's get it done. Let's do it. Yeah. So I think that's what I have probably evolved to, and where I evolved to from here, I don't know. Let's see. But it's because it's always an evolution. We're always growing. We're always, I think getting better at the craft that we do, as we have more and more experiences and deal with more and more people.
Yeah. And you know what? Like you just said something there, and before you mentioned, sometimes, you have people that you're coaching and they just want things that they want to reach their goals yesterday. They want to, how has that sort of changed? Like, do you, because you have more empathy now and you are more sort of understanding of timing and so forth, has that changed the way you coach as well? Because do you get that feedback or requests from clients and say, I need to get to this by this date? Do you coach based on that timing, or do you pull them back based on what they should, or they really do need?
Look, we look at holistically, right? So let's say, I don't know, they want to produce 100,000 in their business in the next month, right? And I've coached people to $100,000 months. So that's not like I'm not unfamiliar with the territory.
Awesome.
Right. But then it's like, okay, not a problem. Let's have a look at what have you done up until this point? What's actually available to you right now as it stands. Are you starting from zero and wanting to go that? What's the vehicle you're using? So we just, in that, for that analysis phase, we'll look, right? Have the person actually look at what's available. Doesn't mean it can't be done. But then if they're starting from a point of zero, right? Yeah. Are you going to pour the time that it will need into it? Exactly. Yes, you could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But are you prepared to strap yourself to your computer and outflow to the degree that you need to in order to do that? Like, do you have the space? Can you clear your deck literally for a month with no other responsibilities bar your business to do that? Yeah. Well, if the answer is no, then then the person's going to have to make some choices, right?
That's right.
So are you prepared to make the choices to make that come to fruition? One, clear your deck for a month. So that's literally you're pouring your heart and soul and time and everything into it, or we change the time frame, or we pending of the responses. So I think the ability to pull someone back to look and go, okay, let's bigger picture this and look at what's actually going on for you. Where are you in your journey? And if you want that, do you even have the contacts to be able to make that happen? If you have no contacts, well, then you're going to have to find them real quick, right? So just that more allowing someone to step up over it and look at it, because often, as we know, we're like this all the time, right? So close to it you can't see anything, like if the blinkers go on because it's too close. So just helping someone pull back far enough to look at it from every angle and then assess for themselves, okay, great, how are you going to do that?
Yeah. And there was the reason I ask you for that, and that's such a good answer. I love that answer, because there are so many people, I think, and these are conversations that, you come across, we're in networks, we've seen, comments and posts and all that sort of stuff. And so many people want things done yesterday, or not a lot. So, I shouldn't pinpoint, but yeah.
I know a large percentage. I would agree with you. There's a high
exactly.
percentage, and most let's face it, most entrepreneurs are impatient. Why did we become entrepreneurs in the first place?
Yeah, because we're trying to, exactly. So, and, sometimes, people, want a solution straight away. They want it to give you all the answers straight away. But you've got to sort of step back and go, okay, what is it that I need? What is it that I'm doing? Just like you said, everything in your answer. Because, and the reason for asking that, like I was saying, was it just seems to be so many people out there that just want an instant answer so many times, and they expect you to give them the answer when the answer is actually within themselves. And
but I think that's the society, right, Nikki, is we've got to this quick fix thing. Like, I don't work with anyone for a one-off session.
No, you can't.
I won't, because what am I going to do? I'm not a miracle worker, right? Like jeepers creepers. Yeah. So, because I think people generally, and this is a generalization, don't take offense, people who are listening, but generally, if someone wants a one-off session, they only want this Band-Aid quick fix. Well, I'm not interested in that. That's not what I do. That's not my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse is we actually get everything so that it all works together, integrates, so you can create this massive, empire to protect yourself and your family, and everything rocks and rolls. Like, that's my wheelhouse, not, oh, well, we'll just do this quick fix and everything will be okay. It's like, no, because it's all going to fall over again in a couple of months. Like, find someone else who can do that, but that's not me, right? So there are people who will quick fix out there, but it's not probably your warehouse, and it's not the way I want to do it. But I do think that also that education, that you didn't get to this point in a day. You got to this point over years. So it will take time to undo your habits, your beliefs, the way you're operating, to then not only undo those, but then you've got to build new ones, and then you've got to train those ones in, so that then we have a whole new operating system that you are operating off that actually works for you. And that, there is no quick fix to that.
There is never a quick fix to it. And that brings back to the point of, you've got to plan beginning of the week. So we just sometimes need to just take that little bit of time beforehand.
I think so, right? Like, so I plan on a Sunday. I also plan every morning, because so I can plan my week out on a Sunday and everything's all great. Every day it changes. So I need to ensure, for my own sanity's sake, that I'm prepared each day. Yeah. And I break that down to go, okay, well, these are the most important things today to get done. Yes, great, everything else in the schedule, but these are the have-tos. Yeah. Everything else are niceties.
Yeah, exactly. Just like we had to sort of organise this podcast.
It's exactly like this podcast, right? It's like, okay, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, we've got it. We've got a day. We're looking at it. Being real, transparent is my thing.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing you've learnt about yourself as you've grown and you've hit this point now? What's the biggest thing you've learnt about yourself?
That I am absolutely atrocious if I'm not being authentic to myself. I'm horrible to myself, and I'm really not that nice to the people around me either. Yes. I get very irritated. Yeah. That's what I've learned. And I think we all have little barometers or idiosyncrasies that we have, that if we know what they are, they're indicators to something's out, right? And then I know myself well enough to know what they are. So if I start drinking lots of coffee, and that's one of mine, right? If I drink more than a cup a day, that's an indicator that I'm starting to get really fatigued. Mm-hmm. And something's wrong. So I have not indicated not enough self-care, probably not getting enough sleep, right? And I'm pushing. Yeah. The other one is I get irritable. I get a short fuse. It's like, why am I starting to snap at the people I love? It's like, and myself, because I'm snapping at myself 10 times louder in my head. That's just a small percentage is coming out towards them. It's like, I don't really want to be that person. Yeah. So I have learned, though, that those things are an indicator that I am just a bit out of alignment somewhere. Or, other thing, I'm not asking for help. And those are the two things. It's okay to ask for help. That is one of the biggest things that I have learned, and I think I will probably continue to learn possibly for the rest of my life. Hopefully I really nail it at some point in time. But because like you grow the goal bigger, then that's a new level of help. Then I'm like, all right, okay. Now we're like this whole new thing, because I'm developing all this stuff and it's driving me nuts at the moment. It's like, okay, well, it's actually okay to ask for help, or it's okay to use, like I was using this platform to assist with doing some email sequencing, and I'm like, this seems a little bit too easy. It's like, ooh, what on earth are you saying? It's like, wow, what is that belief that you've got in there? Like, get rid of that. Like, it's like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, you're not cheating to get help. It's not cheating to get, it's okay to just get help, right? Like, I think, when you're like that whole school adage of, you don't be seen, or don't cheat, or don't ask for help, or work it out yourself, or put your hand up, get in trouble for putting your hand up for asking help at school. And like, we can carry all these silly little things into our adult life. It's like, hold on a second. If I don't put up my hand for help, no one's going to know I even need it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So that would probably be the other thing that I have learned. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to not get it all done in one day.
Oh, gotcha. That's one of the big things I've had to learn. You don't get it done, don't be harsh on yourself. It's okay.
That's right. I mean, it would be great, and sometimes, sometimes it all comes together and you smash it out, great. But other days it just doesn't go like that, and you can spend all day then beating yourself up, but such a waste of energy when energy is precious.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to flip it now and ask you, what's the biggest win you've had?
In my life, business, any particular area?
Whichever stands out to you the most. Doesn't matter.
I would say I've had lots, but I would say that I feel very blessed to be able to have raised my daughter in a growth mindset household. That would be my biggest win. If I can embody to her and demonstrate to her what the possibilities and choices are, and the vulnerability, and the show her that it's okay to struggle, and it's okay to have fears, and it's like, but you keep going.
Yes.
Right. And that's how it is. Then I feel like I've succeeded.
Yeah.
That would be my biggest win, because that's one of my like real driving underlies whys of what I do, is that I think that if women are succeeding and demonstrating that success, it filters down through their household. Yeah. And we're still undoing eons of thinking. Yes, we burned our bras, but there's still, it's still not over.
No. It's not over. It's not over. And you've probably answered that question anyway for me now, because the next question is, what legacy are you looking to leave?
Yeah, for me too. So to assist women to literally play their legacy life, and to build empires that, from my perspective, to build a business and a life that is unpenetratable. Like that can't be affected by all the crazy crap in the world that goes on, that they know that they are secure and independent enough that no matter what goes on, they don't have to worry. They don't have to look at the price tag when they go do the groceries and be worried that the grocery bill just went up 100%, or doubled, because that's what it's doing, right? And you're like, that's right. That people that you have built a life and a business that is way bolstered past that.
Yeah.
That's my legacy play, because I know then that next generation, that just filters down.
Yeah. Yeah. Just making it easier for the next one and the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you've been absolutely amazing to chat to today, Alison. I could chat to you for even so many more hours, but I know we are busy people too.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'd love to ask you, what offer do you have that you'd like to share with our audience today?
Absolutely. So people can book in to chat to me, free 30-minute strategy session. More than happy for anyone to book in. I no doubt you'll put it in the show notes and all that stuff. So they can book in for a free 30-minute strategy session. I would love to chat to anyone who would like to.
Oh, Alison, like I said, you've been amazing to chat to. And Alison's offer and link and everything will be in our podcast summary below. So be sure to click on the link and don't forget to subscribe to the Wise Dome podcast. Again, Alison, you've been lovely to chat to and a wealth of information and insight just really creating a holistic life. I really do appreciate that time that you've given us. Thank you again.
Oh, thank you so much, Nikki. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for listening to the Wise Dome podcast. If you enjoyed and have been inspired by this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, do subscribe and please share it with others. Post about us on social media or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from me, Nikki Kelly, you can follow me on Instagram at Wise Dome Podcast, WISEDOME Podcast. I'm Nikki Kelly. Thanks again, and we'll catch up next time.